What's up everyone, Eric Allen, founder of Planiversity, back with you again, this time with a quick tutorial on how to use our new Create Schedule feature. So if you've been a user of Planiversity in the past, you've known that we've always had this timeline, we've always had this Create Schedule feature. And why is that? Because although it's not for everyone, some people do like to loosely follow a schedule while they're attending some kind of trip or event, all right? And that's what Planiversity specializes in. We allow people to actually put together a very comprehensive, very detailed plan for their upcoming travel or their events, and not just for themselves anymore, but for a group of individuals or for a large group of individuals. This is all based on being able to actually put together a plan, not just for yourself, but for others as well. And as we move forward, we're going to continue on this pivot of ours right now to be able to continue to give you tools to be able to plan for a team, and not only plan for that team, but communicate and manage that plan throughout until you've hit the end of it. All right, so let's start talking about what these new features include on the Create Schedule page. And really, it all boils down to three things, okay? Looking at the Create Schedule feature in the past, I mean, it was pretty generic in the past. It was pretty straightforward. You create a schedule, you can line up as many things as you want, and then, of course, those in the end, once you export the plan, would show up not only in your PDF, but it will also show up in your live information section on the companion app. Now, if you didn't know already, Planiversity does have a companion app. With that companion app, you can't actually plan anything, but what you do is you come here to the website, you put together this really awesome plan for any trip or event that you've got coming up for yourself, for someone close to you, or for a group of people. And then once you actually export it, that plan drops into the companion app, and everyone who was attached or connected to that plan now has a copy. And as we continue to improve on this, we're going to include things like communications. You're going to be able to not only share documents, share scheduled events, you're going to be able to communicate throughout. So it's going to be a messenger service. It's really just going to be an all-encompassing under one umbrella plan that you can communicate and share information throughout the entire process, which is going to be awesome, right? Because one of the things that we know very well is that even though people execute plans nicely, right, not everyone is able to communicate once that plan's been executed. And of course, people have questions, where's this document? Where's this information? What time am I supposed to be there again? Like, this is the problem that we're trying to resolve for our customers, all right? So let's start talking about this Create Schedule. And I'll tell you right now, the three things that we've incorporated, and you're going to love these things. One is the address bar. All right, we did not have that in the past, but with the address bar, now you can say, hey, look, I'm going to get ice cream at this time with my friends on this date at this time, and now you can actually attach a location to that. All right, so that's important, right? If you do have a scheduled event, not only do you want to know when and where, or when and what time, but you want to know where the location is. That was a pretty straightforward thing, right? That seems like a pretty common sense approach to adding a scheduled event, but we didn't have it in the past, and now we do. The next thing that we have is the preview mode. So not only do you get to look at your calendar and you can actually verify the things that you've added. So you can see right here, I've already added a few different cards. You can see the bus pickup at the hotel, the drop off at the airport. If I just mouse over my calendar and I come down here to these little dots, now I can actually mouse over and I can see that those are added to the schedule, right? I can see that they're actually on the calendar. If you're a very visual person, this is going to be a good thing for you. Now, if you like things kind of itemized and categorized, that's what the preview mode is going to give you. So if I come up here and I click on the preview mode, now you can see right here, I've actually added those things, those cards right here, and they drop into here. And what it's going to do is it's going to break these down by day in order. So now you can actually sit there and you can review everything and you have it right there in front of your eyes, so it's easy to actually follow, all right? The last thing that we did, and I'm actually going to have to show you, it's easier to show you than explain, but the Planiversity companion app is going to have a check-in feature on this upcoming, what am I trying to think of? This upcoming version that we've got coming out, all right? It was supposed to be out right about mid-month. It's probably going to be out closer to the end of August, but it's going to be a check-in feature. So now once you actually create a plan for your team, and you're sending, your children somewhere, or you're sending your friend somewhere, you're planning for a group to attend an event or some kind of trip, now you can actually list where you want people to be able to check in at, and on the companion app, they're going to be able to hit check in, and that's going to relay that information back to the website, so whoever's managing the trip or event would actually be able to see who checked in at what location, so that you don't have to micromanage everyone. Now you can just say, hey, look, when you get to your hotel, I just want you to check in. In the companion app, it's going to prompt you to check in once you get to the hotel. You click the check-in, you can add a comment if you want, and that's going to report back to the website, so whoever's managing can actually see that instead of having to pester you with question after question, right? So let's go ahead and create our first event. So we'll just say this is going to be a business lunch. All right, and we're going to actually have that. Ooh, it'd be nice if I could actually spell business. And so let's go up here and correct that. We've got our business lunch, and I'm going to add an event address. So let's just say, now I did create this plan to go to Toronto. So let's just say we're going to do this at the Hyatt in Toronto. And look at that, Hyatt Regency, Toronto, King Street West. We'll just say it's going to be there. The event date, we'll just throw anything in there. It's going to be, we'll use September 5th as a good example. And we're going to say we're going to do this business lunch at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Once I click Save Event, you're going to see this board pop up, right? This pop-up is going to prompt you to add time requirements or the check-in requirement. So if you say right here, yes, I want to add a check-in requirement, what that's going to do is it's going to drop a check mark on your cards down here. So you can see on the bus pickup at the hotel and drop off at the airport, there are no check marks on there, because why? Me being the person who's created the plan, who's managing the plan, I don't need people to actually report that they've been picked up. But maybe when I, have somebody show up at a lunch, I want to know that they actually showed up to the lunch, because some part of me is a little bit of a micromanager and I want to make sure that they got there okay. So I add a check mark there. So what I say is, yes, I would like to add a check-in requirement. I select yes. I select OK. Not only did that event show up in my calendar right here, but now you can see my card that dropped into the stack has got a check mark next to it saying this person's required to check in. And what is that going to do? Well, just like I said, on the new version of the app that's coming out at the end of this month, you're actually going to be able to see a check-in requirement in the live timeline information. So now, once somebody gets to that time of the day, or once they get to that event, they're prompted, do you want to check in? They click check in, boom, that relays that information back to the website. So now I will know that that person checked in. Now, just like we discussed about the preview view, if I come up here and I don't want to see everything as a calendar because, I like things categorized, I like them stacked, I just select preview view, and now you can see right here, everything is actually dropped into my little stack. So that business lunch, now you can see it's actually got the address attached to it, it's got the time, it's got the date, and I can see everything in a nice clean fashion, a nice clean order, right? So not only do I have my stack cards over here, I've got the one with the check mark representing a check-in's required at that point, and I've also got everything just categorized right here. So for me to be able to see everything, for me being the visual person, I like to see everything represented. Now I can see it represented in a calendar view, or I can see it represented in a preview view. Either way, it's just clean, it's easy to follow, and it lets you just manage down to the last detail. All right, and of course, if you have any questions, as always, any step that you come to with Planiversity, you can always click on the how to use, and you'll see a quick explainer video pop up. We usually try to keep these 30 seconds or less, but these should usually address any of your questions. And if you don't have anything else, that's it. You just click finish next step. I hope this answered everything for you. Of course, if you have any questions in the future, always feel free to email us, plans@planiversity.com. We love hearing from people. And take care. Happy planning.